answer is yes or no.
No, Congressman.
All you have to ask
the
is yes or
OCC
no.
is an independent entity, and I would know, Congressman,
so that, I take that as a no.
You traveled to Venezuela to lobby
I take that as a no.
Chavez on behalf of
I
your
take that
donor,
as a
on
no.
behalf of your donor.
You do not want to answer that
I was
question.
sentenced to 110
I take
years
that
in
as a
jail
no.
For a $7 billion
Gentleman's
contract.
time
I'm asking you to do your responsibility as Secretary of the Treasury.
Into a Venezuelan
You do not.
Mr. Meeks,
Will you?
time has expired.
You cannot erase what you did in 2006.
He's the one that went past your time, Mr. Chairman.
No, and
he did not answer my question, and he wouldn't pass the
Mr.
time.
Meeks. He had 6 seconds left to try to answer your question, and the
It was a yes or no. It was a yes or no answer. I asked him, will he? No, was that yes or no?
The
recognizes
OCC
the
is an
gentleman.
independent
Stop
agency.
covering for the president.
Yeah, well,
Stop being his flunky.
yeah, and
Gentlemen.
He's talking to me. I'm responding
your
back to him.
2006 trip to Venezuela.
Neither
Why don't
Stop
you
covering
tell
for
your
the
secretary
president. Don't be a flunky. Work for the American
Secretary,
people.
Mr. Meeks,
trip to
Mr.
Venezuela?
Meeks,
Work for the American people.
And maybe
Don't
you're
be
going-
a
maybe you're
cover-up
going to-
for a mob. More than $1 million in contributions, 4 trips to the Bahamas, and all expenses paid stays at resort hotels. Following the scandal, the industry saw sweeping regulatory changes that was launched by then-President George H.W. Bush. Now, Mr. Secretary, I'm sure you can agree conflicts of interest and improper influence by U.S. elected officials over bank regulators weaken supervisory independence and ultimately impose massive losses on consumers and taxpayers. I think that we can all agree upon that. And as we know, the basic lessons from the post-Keating reforms still applies today when the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the OCC, is deciding to get a bank charter. I think we can stimulate that. Now, Mr. Bessent, as our nation's treasurer, I'm sure you also know that a foreign-linked investment firm tied to the United Arab Emirates government quietly bought about half of the Trump family's crypto company, World Liberty Financial. And at the very same time, the President of the United States was dealing with that country on foreign policy. Now, Eric Trump, the president's son and co-founder of World Liberty Financial, said, and I quote, "I'm not going to get into who the investors are, but I've got some pretty meaningful investors," end of quote. Lack of transparency. And it didn't end there. When Trump fans brought the tokens, they thought they were getting the deal of a century. But what they didn't know was that only Trump and his sons had the sole power to decide who can sell the token and when. Today, the price of the token has fallen over 50%, and the Trump fans who bought the token are now begging to get out. Now, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. You can see it for yourself on the World Liberty Financial Discussion Forum. Yeah, yourself, Mr. Secretary. So this is no longer just about a shady crypto deal or a possible gift. When a foreign-linked investor is putting hundreds of millions of dollars into a company controlled by the president's family, and at the same time, this president is conducting foreign policy with that country. You know what that causes or creates? It creates a national security concern. So, I'm not going to ask much of you, Mr. Secretary. I just want to know whether you will commit today to pause and heighten the scrutiny of any bank charter or licensing application at the OCC connected to the World Liberty Financial until all of these conflicts of interest and foreign influence reviews are completed and shared with the United States Congress. All I need to know is, will you halt it and do a complete investigation and scrutiny of this licensing application? Oh, yeah, the answer is yes or no.
No, Congressman, the.
All you have to answer
the
is yes or no.
OCC is an independent entity, and I would know, Congressman,
so that- I take that-
in
I take that as a
2006,
no.
you traveled to Venezuela to lobby
I take that as a no.
Chavez on behalf of
I
your
take that
donor,
as a
on
no.
behalf of your
You
donor.
do not want to answer that
I was sentenced
question.
to 110
I take
years
that
in
as a
jail
no.
For a $7 billion
Gentleman's
contract.
time
I'm
is
asking you to
expired.
do your
As
responsibility
Secretary-
as Secretary of the Treasury.
Into a Venezuelan.
You do not,
Mr. Meeks,
will you,
time
I'm
has
just,
expired.
You
Well,
cannot
tell
erase
the
what you
witness,
did in
he's the one that went
2006.
past your time, Mr. Chairman.
No, and the
He did not answer my question, and he wouldn't pass the
Mr.
time.
Meeks. He had 6 seconds left to try to answer your question, and the
It was
time
a yes or
expired.
no. It was a yes or no answer. I asked him, will he? No, it was
Gentlemen,
yes
the
or
chair
no.
recognizes
OCC
the
is an
gentleman.
independent
Stop
agency.
Mr.
covering
Bessent.
for the president.
Yeah, well.
Stop
Mr.
being his flunky.
Yeah, and
Gentlemen.
He's talking to me. I'm responding
your
back to him.
2006 trip to Venezuela.
Neither
Why
one-
don't
Stop
why don't you
covering
tell
for
your
the
Secretary
president. Don't be a
about that?
flunky. Work for the
Mr.
American
Secretary,
people.
Mr. Meeks,
trip to
Mr.
Venezuela.
Meeks,
Work for the American people.
And maybe
Don't
you're
be
going-
a
maybe you're
cover-up
going to-
for a mob.
Maybe you're going to
As
see your
long as
friend
he talks,
Nicholas
you talk.
I
Maduro
will.
in
gentleman is
Brooklyn
not
prison.
recognized. Mr. Bessent, please.